Hey everyone, this is Hannah with the Rocket Miner giving you today's news update. To start off with, I wanted to give some information and an update about some wildfires that happened this weekend in the Bridger-Teton National Forest area. There were two wildfires that started over the weekend that firefighters responded to. Thankfully, one of them is pretty much completely under control now, and the other one sounds like it's pretty limited and should be under control soon. So the two fires are the Shoal Creek Fire and the Smoky Hollow Fire. Both of the fires were discovered on August 30th, and the causes of the fires are still under investigation. The Shoal Creek Fire is the one that is mostly contained now, thankfully. The cooler temperatures and some precipitation yesterday helped the firefighting efforts with that fire in particular. So today the Teton Interagency Fire, Sublette County United Fire, and Pioneer Peak Interagency Hotshot Crew, the ones who were responding to that fire, are now performing mop-up operations and just finishing up with securing the fire line, making sure that it's completely contained, won't spread more, won't cause more damage. So that fire was located in the Big Piney Ranger District of the Bridger-Teton National Forest, near Shoal Creek Drainage in Hoback Canyon, and it was near the 2016 Cliff Creek Fire burn scar. And they explained early on that it was good that it was close to that burn scar because that was going to help it not spread too much. It did reach 25 acres, but then it didn't spread any further than that. And as I said, with the weather conditions and the responders who were already there, they were able to get it under control. Then the Smoky Hollow Fire is the other one. It's burning on the border of the Caribou-Targhee National Forest and the Bridger-Teton National Forest, so in between the two of those, closer to Idaho. It is located on a ridgetop that's approximately 6 miles southwest of Wilson, Wyoming, and just above Mosquito Creek in Teton County. They said that some of the flare-ups in the trees could be seen from Jackson. Thankfully it's a little bit smaller even. As of the update yesterday, which was the most recent update we've had on that one, the fire was at approximately 17 acres. And with that update yesterday, they said they had 15 firefighters who were suppressing the fire, including Engine 441 from the Bridger-Teton National Forest. And they also had an additional hand crew and helicopters that were ordered to help suppress the fire. At that point, it was at 0% containment, but they were also hoping that the weather conditions would help contain that one. And we're expecting more progress on that, and they said that no structures were threatened. So hopefully, with the weather, they were able to also make good progress in containing that fire. The other news updates I have for today mostly relate to COVID-19, some updates on that with numbers and with some local discussion happening about it. So for Wyoming today, we have 619 active cases of COVID-19. Thankfully, this number has been going down over the last 2 days especially. It's gone down. And it is, obviously, it's still over 600. It's still pretty high, but with it trending back down again for the last 2 days, hopefully that will continue and we'll be able to keep getting it down further. Unfortunately, one of the COVID-related numbers did go up today, and unfortunately that was Wyoming's COVID-related death toll. 4 deaths were added to Wyoming's total, which brings that number up to 41. Today the Wyoming Department of Health reported these additional deaths and explained what they were and where these numbers came from. All of these people who died were Wyoming residents who tested positive for COVID-19. Several of them died out of state or in other places. So for the 4 deaths specifically, there was an older Fremont County woman who had health conditions that are recognized to put patients at higher risk. She died in late August. She had been hospitalized in another state for treatment. There was also an older Washakie County man who died in July after being hospitalized. He had been exposed to the virus during a previously identified local nursing home outbreak, so that was where he came in contact with it. There was an older Lincoln County man who also had pre-existing health conditions who died in late June. He had also been hospitalized, and that was in another state where he was being treated and where he died. And then the last one was an older woman who was a Park County resident who died in July in an out-of-state hospital after she was exposed to the virus in an out-of-state long-term care facility where she had been receiving care. The department noted that it's not unexpected to experience delays in reporting some of these deaths among Wyoming residents, especially when they do occur in other states or other locations. They explained again just kind of their procedures for how they report COVID-related death numbers. So they explained that deaths among Wyoming residents are added to the state's coronavirus-related death total based on official death certificate information and the location of the person's permanent residence. So deaths among Wyoming residents who pass away in other states are not counted in both the states. They're counted in the state where that person was a resident. So if the death certificates do not describe COVID-19 as causing or contributing to the death, those deaths are not included in Wyoming's count of coronavirus-related deaths. They also explained that the Department of Health's reporting of coronavirus-related deaths for Wyoming residents follows the same standards that have been used by the state for tracking influenza-related deaths. So again, this is just a reminder and an explanation of the way these deaths are reported. Even if they died in another state, it is based on where they were a resident. So it's added to Wyoming and not to that other state, so that way we don't have that number like duplicated in multiple places. So I know a lot of people tend to be skeptical about the numbers and how they're reported and if they're really caused by COVID or if they're being inflated somehow in the way that they're reported. I think the Wyoming Department of Health has done a really good job in explaining the procedures they follow, which are procedures they already had in place, as they said, for things like influenza deaths. So I think they've done a good job showing that these are deaths where COVID was a factor that caused or contributed to the death significantly. These are not people who were dying otherwise and would have died even if they hadn't had COVID necessarily. And these numbers are being reported in a way so that they're not being multiplied or exaggerated or reported in multiple places. And then today, the other thing that I wanted to discuss related to COVID was because it came up as an important topic of discussion today in the Sweetwater County Commissioner meeting. Today the commissioners decided not to approve a resolution that was against county-level health orders in light of COVID-19. So this resolution that was presented to the commission would have encouraged the public to make virus-related health decisions for themselves, as it said, in accordance with the Wyoming Constitution, and to, and this is a quote from the resolution, to refrain from any county-level virus-related mandates concerning individual health care decisions. This came up and was discussed as there was a similar resolution that was approved in Goshen County by their county commissioners early in August. And in discussing the resolution presented today to Sweetwater County commissioners, they referenced and pointed to that Goshen County resolution, and it was making a similar statement, kind of with this idea that people should be able to make their own public health decisions and there shouldn't be kind of widespread public health orders for everybody is kind of the concept behind it. The two people who were the main force in putting forth this resolution in Sweetwater County today were Wyoming Senator Tom James and Rock Springs resident Harold Bjork. They both spoke, they both explained their reasoning and their reasons for supporting the resolution. In addition to that, the commissioners listened to more than 10 public comments in relation to this resolution. Commissioner Roy Lloyd noted that the comments that they read and the public feedback on the resolution were pretty much evenly split between those who were for the resolution and those who were against it. In commenting on this resolution itself, Commissioner Roy Lloyd said that the county has already taken a similar stance by making recommendations instead of mandates on issues such as mask wearing, and he questioned whether the county would gain anything by approving or moving forward with this resolution. Commissioner Wally Johnson did make a motion to approve the resolution, and he expressed his support for it, but the resolution ultimately failed when no other commissioners seconded the motion. You can read more details about that, about the resolution and the points it was making, the points that people made arguing in support of it and against it. We have a story about that with more details and explanations that will be in tomorrow's paper and is up right now at rocketminer.com. Obviously, with all of these things related to COVID-19, for months now there's been so much discussion and so many different viewpoints, but I think it's interesting to see different people's arguments and where they come from, the things that they're concerned about, the things that they believe take priority. Obviously, as I said, there's a lot of discussion. There's been a lot of division over some of the concepts behind that and what people think we should do as a response to it. But I think it's good to have these discussions, obviously. I think it's important to talk about different concerns and different angles, different ways of viewing things. But as I was thinking about this today, I have also been thinking a lot lately about Chadwick Boseman, the actor who played Black Panther, who died over the weekend. And I wrote a column that will also be in tomorrow's newspaper and up on rocketminer.com about that loss and the reasons I think that loss has felt even more personal and more devastating for a lot of people. So as I had both of those thoughts in my head today, thinking about Chadwick and thinking about the discussions happening about COVID-19 and the divisions, a quote came to my mind that is from the Black Panther, that is from Chadwick's character, King T'Challa. And I just thought it was such a good quote and so applicable to right now. The quote says, "Now, more than ever, the illusions of division threaten our very existence. We all know the truth. More connects us than separates us. But in times of crisis, the wise build bridges, while the foolish build barriers. We must find a way to look after one another." I thought that quote was really powerful, really important, a really good thing for all of us to keep in mind right now. So thank you for listening. Those are the updates I have for today, and I hope that everyone has a good night.